Through His commandments, God protects special gifts that He gives. And that's true when it comes to the sixth commandment, too. Listen for the special gifts protected by this commandment. You shall not commit adultery. What does this mean? We should fear and love God, that we lead a sexually pure and decent life in what we say and do, and husband and wife love and honor each other. In this commandment, God is protecting His special gifts of marriage and sex. On an even deeper level, He's really protecting the gift of human love. The true meaning of love needs to be distinguished from common, false uses of this term today. Our world is very confused on what real love is and what real love does. Too often, the love we see on television and the movies that we hear about in popular songs and storylines are really nothing more than infatuation or lust. Infatuation is shallow and self-centered. It loves the feeling of romantic excitement, the excitement of having a boyfriend or girlfriend. It loves the status and security which that relationship provides among peers. Consider this example of infatuation. Notice that the person's love is self-centered, and the other person is really only an object which is used to provide a certain degree of self-pleasing excitement and status. Carl's high school graduation was approaching. He knew that almost everyone would be bringing a date to the dinner evening. He pictured the evening in his mind and wanted a date that would impress his friends. Suddenly he thought of Nancy, and so he asked her. That evening he liked the feeling of excitement of having Nancy riding with him in his car and of walking into the hall with her. Did Carl think and care about Nancy as a person? Was there love for her in his feelings? Why not? Lust is also shallow and self-centered. It loves the other person physically. It desires that person in a greedy, sexual way. There's really no true love in lust. It will use, or really misuse, the other person to satisfy its own desires. Vince had dated Alice 3 times, and tonight they were going out for their 4th date. Alice liked him, but his insistence on going parking and his pushing of going further physically with her really bothered her. She had to stop him more than once. She thought he really liked her, yet she was worried about what might happen if they grew to love one another. Vince was also thinking about his date with Alice. His thoughts, however, centered on how to get through the first part of the evening quickly so they'd have more time for parking. Had Alice realized this, or had she been aware of his bragging and his exaggerating when sharing with the other guys at school about how far he got with her physically, she would have dropped him immediately. Did Vince care about Alice at all? Her personhood, welfare, and reputation? Not at all. Lust and infatuation arise from opposite motivations of true love. Modern society promotes the first two. God's Word teaches the last. True love centers in the other person, the one that is loved, not in self. It desires that which is best for the other. It delights to self-sacrifice for the other. It reassures the other. It would rather endure personal suffering than have the other suffer. It testifies of deep commitment to the other person. True love loves the other's personhood. That is, who he or she is, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It's much deeper, nobler, and more authentic than only physical attraction or romantic excitement. It loves to give, not simply to get. It loves to love. With the 6th commandment, God is protecting this beautiful, rich, and true biblical view of human love. So that we don't confuse true love with infatuation or lust, God commands us to keep all of our words and conduct pure and honorable with regard to His gifts of marriage and sex. As you prepare for this week's catechism event, think about what all of this means for you. What does this mean for you as a teenager living in a world bombarded with sex. And even if you're too young to be thinking about marriage, what does it mean to be true to one another in relationships right now?